The production of this video was made possible by donors to the Orchestration Online Patreon initiative. Please consider adding your support to the creation of free educational internet resources by visiting our Patreon page linked below.
Hey there, this is your orchestration tutor Thomas Goss. Today it's my great pleasure to announce the 2023 Orchestration Challenge, featuring Beethoven's Piano Sonata No. 24 in F-sharp. This is a beautiful, rare jewel in the cycle of 32 sonatas. It's less often performed than the more familiar chestnuts on the list, even perhaps less than the thorny last few sonatas. And yet it was one of Beethoven's own favorite piano sonatas, and he was fond of playing it. For our purposes, behind all the flowing energy and pianistic flair, it has a wonderfully integrated sense of drama and color. I feel that it's nearly perfect for the kind of challenges I've been offering over the past few years. It was for this reason that I sought out an interpretation that really underlined those qualities, digging deeper into the spirit and meaning of Beethoven's work. And there couldn't have been a better choice than the recording made by Spencer Myer at the 2008 New Orleans International Piano Competition. Spencer won that competition and went on to win several others. Just the start of a career as a successful concert pianist, recitalist, and educator at several prestigious universities. He's graciously granted us permission to use the recording of that performance for this year's reference video, which I've added to the 2023 Orchestration Challenge playlist. This work has two movements, so there are several options available this year. Website subscribers and Minim Patreon supporters are invited to orchestrate the first 15 bars of the first movement, a generous stretch of music that includes a thoughtful intro. A flowing opening statement. A bit of fun back and forth. And then a triplet phrase that leads to an eloquent series of chords. So you can see that right from the beginning, this piece is full of variety, lyricism, and opportunities to devise new colors and textures for imaginative orchestrators. Patreon supporters have the option to orchestrate more of the first movement, depending on their level of support, or to score sections of the second, more sprightly movement instead. There are two other options as well. Should you score the piece in a modern style, using any particular combination of orchestral instruments, or should you use approaches closer to those of Beethoven? Whichever direction you decide, you should watch my companion video to this announcement, covering the possible pitfalls that await orchestrators of a highly pianistic early 19th century work such as this. I absolutely insist that participants this year study that video before sending in their entries, along with the Orchestration Challenge Guide and the 12 Common Scoring Errors video. Last year, there were at least a dozen or so entries that didn't reflect my cautions and recommendations in those videos. So please watch everything on this year's playlist, and use the events page as a checklist to make sure that your entry turns out the best it can possibly be. Just a couple of quick comments about supporting on Patreon. My patrons over there make this whole channel a reality with their support, which has been incredibly helpful. There are a number of support levels, each of which has a different level of benefits of which a supporter can take advantage, like access to exclusive courses, score analysis lectures, and complimentary copies of my books. I usually share 3 posts per month, each of which my patrons support at their given level. So for instance, a minimum patron at the $2 level of support of 3 posts would be $6. If you're joining Patreon just for this orchestration challenge, or upscaling your support level temporarily, that's totally fine. Please maintain that support level through the end of September. Just for this challenge, starting today and ending in September, I'm opening up 8 slots at a new top tier of support, the dotted longa level. This is for hardcore orchestrators who want me to evaluate their orchestration of both movements of Beethoven's 24th Sonata. Please, only enter at this level if you've got some previous chops, and you're aware of the effort it might take for a convincing adaptation of this challenging work from start to finish. This year's challenge almost didn't happen, due to a big pileup of commissions and potential projects that are still under development. But it looks like I have just enough time to squeeze in a round of evaluating your entries, so long as things go pretty much by the book, and I receive all your scores by Saturday the 2nd of September, midnight Pacific Daylight Time. Don't worry, I'm not going to be rigid or anything about your entries, but any special care that you can take this year to make sure that you followed all the guidelines will be enormously helpful to me. And with that, here are the details for this year. I'm really looking forward to receiving your score.